Now we're going to hear from one of my great friends in Rockingham County. Let you know, just to set the stage, that in many schools in Rockingham County, school breakfast and school lunch are free for every single student, thanks to the community eligibility provision provided by USDA. But to make sure students are accessing free breakfast after the bell is a mandatory program in this county, in those community eligible schools. You're going to hear more about that. Rockingham also had a breakfast challenge winner, so I think Erselle has walked across this stage once or twice today. We're really proud of what a great job they've done. And over the years, they've had tremendous growth, or over the few short years since Erselle came on that they've been serving summer meals as a school district, they've had tremendous growth in summer meals as well. Rockingham School Nutrition Director Erselle Young is here to introduce a video message from her superintendent about the commitment to child nutrition. And I'll tell you a little secret, she was a principal before she became child nutrition director, and she worked in a lot of turnaround schools, so she really understands a few perspectives here. Erselle, thank you.
Thank you. And I would like to say that as a principal in a district that was full CEP, our middle school was the only school providing breakfast in the classroom. And so when I moved into this particular position, it was so important to make sure that we provided access to students. And right now, I am feeling a feeling of satiety. I have much gratitude, but I am overly full from that lunch. But you and I both, or all together, we know students who have never felt the feeling of being overly full. So here is a room full of people who can change that for children on a daily basis. And I'm so proud to be part of a community, a school district, who embraces feeding children as a culture. We are transparent about our vision, and if you are in a CEP school, it is a way of life. Breakfast in the classroom is a way of life. I have a principal here. We're so transparent with our mission that as a school nutrition director, you know you have to provide training to those teachers. And Miss Jane Frazier says, I've got you. You don't even need to come to my staff meeting. I know what they need for breakfast. And when we do on-site reviews, Miss Jane Frazier walks around with the supervisor or myself to make sure that her teachers are doing what they need to do. We also have the support of my immediate boss, the Assistant Superintendent of Logistics and Operations, Ms. Sandra Parks. And it takes a community. As I stated, I'm part of a community that starts with our school nutrition employees, our custodians, our teachers, our principals. It works all the way up to Dr. Shotwell. And Dr. Harvey said, nutrition is an instructional intervention. And it is so, because Central Elementary School, that was recognized earlier today as one of the top 3 elementary schools, and I think we have a little over 1,832 within our state elementary schools, that school is also being recognized for the 2nd year for having the highest growth. Put the two together, feed them, and they will learn, right? So, you know, we socialize around food. Food builds communities. So my question is, why don't we have more communities in schools? We all know the excuses for not providing breakfast in the classroom. But let me tell you something, in Rockingham County, in a CEP school, we refuse to let the fear of having a roach, you've heard it, interfere with feeding kids. We refuse to let the cost of an extra trash bag interfere with feeding kids. We refuse to let a little pancake syrup interfere with us feeding kids. Now, I would like to introduce via video my superintendent for 13 wonderful years, Dr. Rodney Shotwell, who also shares that culture and that vision. And when you listen to him, he too has a story that he is going to share with you. Without further ado, Dr. Rodney Shotwell.
Hi, I'm Rodney Shotwell, Superintendent of Rockingham County Schools, and I'm here at Central Elementary School, which is the school that we're honoring today for winning Breakfast in the Classroom. I just think it's real important that all of our kids who have access to this have that opportunity. And you know what? Our teachers here have been on board with it because they see the benefits. And I'll tell you this, the proof's in the pudding. This school, 2 years in a row, was number 6 of all the elementary schools for the highest growth in North Carolina. I'm just saying, we've been doing breakfast in the classroom and they've been doing really well here. Do I need to say anything more? Whether you call it breakfast on the go, breakfast after the bell, breakfast in the classroom, it doesn't matter what you call it, as long as you call it breakfast and putting food in the child's belly. You do that and great things can happen at your school, just like they did here at Central Elementary. I'm here at Moorhead High School. This is where we have athletes come up here and they sign when they're getting ready to do something great, when they're going on to the next level. Well, I thought it would be very appropriate here to say how excited I am the fact that we won the North Carolina Breakfast Challenge. I mean, that's pretty big. But you know what? There's a commitment and a reason why we participate in that. And that's because it's the right thing for kids. But I just want you to know that it's not just me or Miss Young. It's everybody working in our child nutrition program that really makes this work. You know, one of the things that's definitely changed since I was in school, I had lunch tickets. Have people punch in numbers. Of course, that's probably pretty good because that's one of the ways that we can kind of keep folks from knowing that the child's on free or reduced lunch or a child is paying. Because I can remember being on free or reduced lunch after my parents got divorced from 3rd grade all the way through high school. And coming through a line much like this, get my fork, a nice napkin, and then we'd look on the back and see what the number was on the back of the spoon. And whoever had the highest number won that day. We didn't win anything, but we won. But one of the things I remember sitting in 5th grade class, and I went up there to get my lunch ticket, and there was a kid when I came back, he noticed that I didn't give anybody any money. And it was like literally the first time that I realized that I'm on free lunch. And he said, "You're wanting free lunch kids, aren't you?" I said, "Yes." But you know what? If I didn't have that for myself and my brother, my mom wouldn't know what to do. It was a godsend that we were able to have a program like that. And that's why we still have it to this day. Our parents bring the very best to us that they can. But sometimes they struggle. And that's why we have a lunch program. I guarantee you there are kids that come to school simply because they know that they're going to get breakfast, they're going to get lunch, and they know what time they're going to get it every day. When they leave us on Friday afternoon, unless they're part of our backpack program, they may not know where their next meal's coming until 7:30 Monday morning and show back up to school. You know, we do breakfast in the classroom, and somebody said, "Well, why?" Well, it's the right thing to do. We do it at all of our CEP schools. And people say, "Really? Y'all are able to do that?" Well, it's really easy whenever you have a superintendent that understands how much it means not to go hungry. Because just think about it. Right now, some of you all are out in the audience. You might have only had a cup of coffee for breakfast. And now you're wondering, well, where the next Danish is coming from. You could just get up and go get one. But a child can't do that. By having a breakfast and lunch program, especially breakfast is what we're talking about, our kids start out on the right foot. It's great for focus, it's good for their health, and they're not hearing their stomach rumble. Can you imagine maybe going 2 or 3 days without any food and trying to pay attention in the classroom? Whether you're 5 or 18, hunger is hunger. And that's why it's so important for us. And that's why we're so glad that we were recognized for this honor. But I know there's lots of other schools that do the exact same thing. And even the schools that aren't CEP and they offer breakfast, they know that if a child leaves the teacher's classroom because they got there late, we will never say no. All they have to do is send them down to the cafeteria, and every one of my cafeteria managers and cafeteria workers know, find something for that child. I never want to ever hear a story about a child that was turned away who was hungry. And that's really what makes it special. And we're glad that we're here today at Moorhead High School to be able to talk about this.